Literal equations. In this video, you'll learn how to solve for a particular variable, like height, time, or length, when the equation would be more useful in that form. You'll also learn the meaning of the phrase to solve for a variable. So to solve for a variable means to rearrange an equation to isolate a specific quantity. This process helps make an equation more useful depending on what we need. Rearranging equations avoids unnecessary calculations and makes problem solving more efficient. For example, the equation for the area of a rectangle is A equals length times width. If we have the area and the length but need to find the width, we can rearrange the equation for W. So we can take our original equation of A equals L times W and divide both sides by L to get W by itself. This gives us A divided by L equals W. So this means that if we divide the area by the length, we can find the width. Let's look a little more at rearranging equations. When solving for a variable, we can use inverse operations to isolate it. And we'll keep the equation balanced by performing the same operation on both sides. Let's look at an example. The perimeter of a rectangle is P equals 2L plus 2W. We'll solve for L. So we'll take the given equation of P equals 2L plus 2W and solve for L by isolating it. We'll start by subtracting the W term, so we'll subtract 2W from both sides. This gives us P minus 2W equals 2L. Now we'll divide both sides by 2, which gives us P divided by 2 minus W equals L. So we can find the length by taking half of our perimeter and then subtracting the width. Here's another example. This time we'll solve the equation for y, where 2x plus 4y minus 31 equals 123. So we'll start by taking our equation and isolating the variable y. We can start by adding 31 to both sides. This gives us 2x plus 4y is equal to 154. Now we'll subtract the x term by subtracting 2x on both sides. This gives us 4y equals 154 minus 2x. Our last step is to divide both sides by 4. This gives us a final answer of y equals 77 minus 1/2 x. Ashley is buying raisins and almonds to make trail mix. Almonds are $5.50 a pound, and raisins are $2.75 a pound. Ashley spent $13.75 buying almonds and raisins. How many pounds of raisins did she buy if she bought 2 pounds of almonds? Let's start by making an equation for this situation. We know that almonds are $5.50 a pound. So we can write this as 550A. We also know that raisins are $2.75 a pound. So we can write this as 275R. And we know that she spent $13.75 altogether. So we'll set our equation equal to $13.75. Since the equation is asking how many pounds of raisins she bought, we can solve our equation for R to find the answer. So we want to isolate the variable R. We'll start by subtracting 550A from both sides. This gives us 275R is equal to 13.75 minus 5.50A. Now we'll divide both sides by the coefficient of 2.75. This gives us a final equation of R equals 5 minus 2A. Since the question wants to know how many pounds of raisins she bought if she bought 2 pounds of almonds, we can replace A with 2 to find the value of raisins she bought. 2 times 2 gives us 4, and 5 minus 4 gives us 1. So when she bought 2 pounds of almonds, she bought 1 pound of raisins. Let's look at another example. A chef bought $20 worth of ribs and chicken. Ribs cost $2.50 a pound, and chicken cost $5 a pound. The chef bought 2 pounds of chicken. How many pounds of ribs did he buy? We'll start by making an equation for this situation again. Since we know that ribs cost $2.50 a pound, we can write this as 2.50R. And we know that chicken costs $5 a pound, so we can write this as 5C. We know that the chef spent $20 altogether, so we'll set our equation equal to 20. Since the question is asking how many pounds of ribs he bought, we'll solve the equation for R. So we can isolate R by moving everything else to the other side. We'll start by subtracting 5C from both sides. This gives us 250R equals 20 minus 5C. Now we'll divide by the coefficient of 2.50, which gives us R is equal to 8 minus 2C. So now that we have the equation set for R, we can find the answer. We want to know how many ribs he bought if he bought 2 pounds of chicken. So we'll replace C with 2. This gives us 8 minus 4, which is equal to 4. So now we know that when he bought 2 pounds of chicken, he bought 4 pounds of ribs. Let's summarize what we've learned. Solving for a variable is an efficient way to find values that meet the constraints in a situation. Solving for a variable before substituting any known values can make it easier to test different values of one variable and see how they affect the other variable. It can save us the trouble of doing the same calculations over and over.